Okay, what if I told you that when it comes to giving, we've been doing the math all wrong? What if giving wasn't about subtraction at all, but about multiplication? Today we're going to dive into this really incredible philosophy that totally reframes charity. It's not just a simple transaction, but a deep, profound art of character and grace. So let's start right there, by challenging the most basic idea of giving. We usually think of it like this. I have $10, I give one away, now I have 9. Simple subtraction. But what if that's not the right equation? What if we've been looking at it all wrong? Because the philosophy we're exploring today, it just flips that whole scarcity mindset right on its head. It suggests a completely different kind of math, one that's all about abundance and, multiplication. It's a world where the real value of a gift isn't measured by what's given, but by the intention, the why behind it all.
And here's the core idea, the big number, 700 times. The metaphor is that a single, sincere gift is like one little grain of wheat, but that one grain grows into 7 big stalks, and each of those stalks has 100 more grains on it. Do the math. That's a 700-fold return. Now, obviously, we're not talking about a literal financial return on investment. It's this powerful image for how one genuine, heartfelt act of kindness can just ripple outward, creating this massive social and spiritual harvest from just one tiny seed.
But this isn't just some feel-good math. The text gets super specific about what actually unlocks that 700x potential. And it all comes down to your motivation, the real state of your heart when you give. And to make it crystal clear, it paints these two vivid, totally contrasting pictures to show us exactly what it means. So on one side, you have sincere giving. Think of it like a beautiful, fertile garden on a lush hillside. When the rain of generosity falls, it just soaks right in, nourishing everything, and the garden yields like double the fruit. It grows. But on the other side, you've got giving for show, and that's like a thin layer of dust on a hard, barren rock. The exact same rain falls, right? But instead of nourishing anything, it just washes all the dust away, exposing the empty, lifeless stone underneath. Oof. In fact, this whole giving for show thing is so toxic, it actually gets its own name, Riya. It's any good deed you do just for the likes, for the public validation. And the warning here isn't just that it's, less effective. The warning is that it completely, utterly nullifies the act. It's like you're salting your own garden. All that effort for nothing. And to really hammer this point home, the text hits you with this just devastating question. It asks you to imagine spending your entire life cultivating this beautiful garden of good deeds. And then, at the very moment you need its fruit the most, when you're old and your children are helpless, you just watch a fiery tornado come and incinerate the whole thing. That's the tragedy of Riya. A lifetime of performative goodness can just vanish into smoke, leaving you with absolutely nothing when it counts. So, okay, let's say the motivation is pure. What's next? Well, the focus shifts to the how. And this is where giving stops being a simple transaction and becomes a true art form. And that art is centered on one crucial thing: dignity. This line right here just captures the whole idea perfectly. The emotional impact of your gift matters more than its material value. Think about that. A kind word offered with real respect is actually considered better than a huge donation that's followed by some kind of insult or a snide reminder of the person's debt to you. And this leads to a very clear etiquette of giving. The biggest rule? Never, ever remind someone of the help you gave them. This kind of emotional injury is seen as a huge deal. The whole goal is to protect the recipient's honor, always. It's like, in this philosophy, communication ethics actually come before financial aid. How you speak is more important than how much you give. From there, this philosophy builds into a kind of hierarchy of action. So, giving openly? That's good. It's great, actually, because it can inspire other people to give. But giving secretly? That's considered even better. And you have to ask why. Well, it's for two really important reasons. First, it completely shields the person receiving from any possible shame. And second, it purifies the giver's own intention, removing any temptation for pride or public praise. It keeps the act pure. All right, so we've covered the why, sincere intention, and the how, giving with dignity. Now let's get to the what, because what you actually choose to give says a whole lot about the true nature of your charity. The principle here is so simple and so powerful. Give from the good stuff, not your leftovers, not the things you're about to throw away anyway. The gold standard is this: give what you yourself would actually be happy to receive. It's about sharing your best, not just clearing out your clutter. And the text draws this really sharp, almost brutal line in the sand here. It basically asks, are you engaging in true charity, or are you just doing some waste disposal? True charity is sharing something you actually value. It's an act of human connection. The other thing? Well, that's giving something you'd be ashamed to get yourself. And that's not connection. That's just an act of discard.
But this whole philosophy goes another step deeper. It's not just about what you give, it's about who you give it to. And it argues that we as a society have this moral duty to actively seek out a very specific kind of person who's in need.
And this, for me, is one of the most profound ideas in this whole thing. The truly needy are defined as those people whose own dignity and self-respect prevent them from ever asking for help. They might look totally fine on the surface, maybe even self-sufficient. So the moral responsibility falls on the giver, on us, to look beneath the surface, to pay attention, and to identify those who are suffering in silence.
So finally, the text weaves all these different threads together, the why, the how, the what, and the who, to present giving not as a series of separate acts, but as a complete, fully integrated lifestyle. This isn't about, a once-a-year donation drive or on the holidays. This is about weaving generosity into the very fabric of your life, day and night, publicly to inspire other people and secretly to purify your own heart. It's a constant, conscious practice, a way of being in the world. And what's the ultimate return on this lifelong investment? It's not wealth, it's not fame. The reward that's promised is purely internal, a deep, profound sense of inner peace. The text says that for those who truly live this philosophy, there will be no fear of what's to come and no grief for what has already passed. Just think about that for a second. That's an incredible promise.
So, when you put it all together, from that 700x multiplier of a pure heart all the way to the art of preserving someone's dignity, this whole framework really leaves us with one big question to ask ourselves. It's not about how much you give. It's about the story your giving tells. So, what story is yours telling?